Hi, welcome to my podcast. I've never done one of these before, so hopefully it goes well and not absolutely horrible. As you can see, my background is terrible. It is just darkness. Might occasionally go to 30 frames a second, but you most likely won't be watching it. You'll most likely be listening. That doesn't matter. But yeah, today I'm going to be doing a podcast. I've said that already. I'm doing that, and in this I'm just going to try and, well, I'm going to talk about random things that happened recently. By recently, I mean in the past, 3 weeks, few months. Just random things that's happened, random funny stories, random sad stories, random dumb stories, random stuff like that. Might be half an hour, might be an hour, might be 7. Hit my mic. Might be 7. I don't know. But, yeah, just going to start off with, I've wrote down a few things, I'm just going to, school stories. Oh, God. Oh, God, how I bullied some teachers. Oh, God. Oh, where do I start with some school stories? Oh yeah, I caught some kids vaping. That's one thing that happened. Not too long ago, I'd say 3 weeks ago maybe. I was heading to my class, and I was, man's gotta go toilet. Man's gotta go toilet, so I go toilet, and in there, I never went because there was 7 year 8s just in there, just with vapes. The entire bathroom, toilet room, whatever you want to call it, it's just full of this just massive smog, and it just smelt of strawberries. And I just walked in for a second, saw them all, and left immediately. It is probably one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen, because not only were they vaping, which is, do not do that, they were also kinda intimidating. You may think, how are your year 8s intimidating, Faceless? You're a year 11 now. Yeah, but I'm still weak as all hell. Year 8 could easily beat me up if I wanted to. But, yeah, so that was kind of... And then later on, after I told one of the teachers, because, no, I know I'm going to be getting called, oh, you're such a fucking rat, you told them off. I don't care. If it was 1 or 2, I might have let it slide, but it was a whole gang of them. Although there's probably drugs in there or something, so I had to told teacher. And they literally, one of the people in there, by the way, I didn't see any of their faces. I just saw these, I don't remember their faces. I went in there for a second, saw the smog, and saw these year 8s that actually looked built. I was like, no, I'm leaving. But one of them was one of my mates. This one of the people I know. He came up to me at lunch and was like, why the fuck have you fucking ratting on my brother for bloody vaping in toilets? Oh, fucking go, yeah, I did eventually calm him down and tell him I didn't know his brother was in there. There was a group of 7 of them. But if I knew who was there, I probably wouldn't have said anything, but I didn't, so I did, and he went, you know what, fine, I'll let you off this time. If he didn't let me off, I would not have been me. I would have been dead. But yeah, so that's one thing that happened. I caught a bunch of kids vaping in the toilets. Ugh, that... 3 minutes in, and I've already gone full story. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, how I bully some of my teachers. I bully my teachers. Funny. I have 2 maths teachers. One of them is for Mondays and Tuesdays, and then the other one's for the rest of the days, because it's an actual teacher. But my teacher, before I had my Monday and Tuesday one, well, it might have been during that, I can't remember. But it might have even been last year, I can't remember, because I think I had the same teacher. Well, anyways, I was virtually, the teacher was trying to have a go at me. And I just kept bullying them back. And this happened a few times. I think one of them eventually put me on detention. I think what happened was, I didn't do my homework, but it wasn't my fault. It wasn't oh, I didn't do it because I'm lazy, let's make up a dumb excuse. It was, I didn't see it. By didn't see it, I mean I couldn't see it. It was not there. No matter what setting I put on, it was not there. It wasn't in my completed, it wasn't in my to-do, it wasn't in my late. It was nowhere. So I was like, okay, miss, I haven't done my homework, but I have a good reason. I told her my reasoning, I showed her some proof. Said, oh, well, I'm still going to put you on detention. I was like, can you not just extend it till tonight so I can do it? She said, no. I was like, why not? We were meant to do it for today. And I went, yes, but I couldn't do it. And she said, well, I reminded you the lesson before. the lesson before, the day before, was right before break, and it was near the beginning of the day. And I don't remember anything my teachers say, let alone during those times, so I'm not going to remember. And she did put me on detention. I didn't care. Detention's a chill. But like the entire time, I was literally having a go at her. I wasn't like going, oh well, miss, I did that. I was like, miss, I couldn't do it, you idiot, the entire time. If I continued going on, I probably would have been put on isolation, which is virtually, I go to school 2 hours later and go home at like 5, I think, but I'm put into a separate room with like a bunch of other kids that are in isolation, and we get work set to us, and we're not allowed to talk for the entire thing. And I don't even think we're allowed break or lunch. I think we have to eat in there. I've never been in it, but I've heard that's what happens. And if you do get break or lunch, it's like not with everyone else. You have to do it at a certain time. Bit odd. But yeah, so that was... I nearly got put in isolation there, but that was funny. And I did get put in detention, but the detentions are super chill. And by super chill, I mean like, normally the teachers are meant to be there to make sure you don't say anything, shut up, and you do like some homework or something. The teacher I had, God bless him, was... I'm not going to say his name yet, but I'm not going to say his name, but he was absolute legend. He just chatted to us the entire time about random things, like things he'd rather have to do instead of detention, monitoring, stuff we could do instead of being in detention, like instead of sitting in a room for an hour, why don't we go out and clean the school for an hour? Or another thing we could, that he suggested was like, instead of sitting there for an hour or cleaning for an hour, we actually do stuff that can benefit the school in other ways, like in sort of smaller ways, which is much better than just being sat in a room. So your punishment is to fix the school. That would have been brilliant. He also chatted to some of the other people about football, something I personally don't give two shits about. We talked about football, we talked about and we nearly got board games out. We were that bored. He was talking to us, and we nearly got board games out, and because he knew he couldn't be caught with the students playing board games, right? You're not allowed to do that. But if he wasn't getting caught, he probably would allow. Absolute genius. You're amazing. If you're watching this, I doubt you are, but you're amazing, and you know who you are. What else happened recently? It says here how I almost got into a fight, but this was wrote like a month ago. I don't know how I almost got into a fight, but there was a recent one where I nearly got into it. What happened recently is a bunch of these year 10s were coming over, so year below me, easily stronger and harder than me, but yeah, I'm a dick to everyone. No one's tried to beat me up in high school yet. I'm just a dick to everyone equally, so no one really finds me like always going after me. I must kill him. Fair enough. But these year 10s were coming over, and one of them knew me only because I used to be able to. Well, I couldn't, but I could do the rap god. That was it. He just knew me as the rap god guy. And that was it. But these year 10s came over, and I brought in like a Dumb Among Us plushie. Let me go get it real quick. I brought this in. Yeah, if you're just watching and not listening, pretty much it's just a pink Among Us flower. Brought that in, and as a joke, a few times, and we were all just messing around with it and whatnot. And I was saying random shit to these year 10s, like, oh, you're gay, these nuts, got them, stuff like that. Random stuff just to make them go away, because I didn't want them to be near me, because I couldn't be bothered with them. And one of them was getting really pissed off. The rest of them were all laughing, and there was like 3 of them that were like, shut the fuck up, you fucking little skank, and random stuff like that, and it was funny. I love it when people try to be mean to me, because unlike a lot of people where they'll eventually start getting angry over people having a go at them, I just laugh at it, because I just find it funny that they're trying to be hard, but it just doesn't prove anything. Against someone like my stature, it just proves nothing. So I just laughed it off, and they were like, shut up, I'll fucking smack you. I went, what, you're gonna smack these nuts? You're gonna smack these cheeks and stuff like that. Random stuff just to piss him off even more. And eventually got that mad, he went from, I'll smack you to, I'll fucking pound you into the ground. I literally went, Go on then. And if you say go on then, after they say I'm going to do this, no matter what happens, you've won that situation, fun fact. Even if you get beaten the living shit out of, you still won that situation. Now you may be wondering, how have you won that situation? Well, if they walk away, you've won because you've come out the bigger man. You've not gotten angry, and you've just said, okay, go on then. Go on. And they haven't, so you win because they haven't done what you've told them to say. And you've taken control of the situation, and they've walked off. Now, if they try and beat you up and win the fight, you've won in 2 ways. 1, you've won the fight. 2, you've won psychologically. You have taken control of them and told them what to do, making you better than them. This is all psychological. It's really clever. I learned this during my years of being bullied in primary school. And the last one is, even if they do beat you up, you still won. They may have won the battle, but you've won the mind games because you've told them what to do. And since you've told them what to do, they have lost because they are doing what you want them to do. They don't want to do what you want, but you've got them to do what you want, making you win. So, and most people know that. So if you say, come at me, most people know if you say, come at me, most people will know they can't win that situation if you go, okay, go on then. So they'll walk off, no matter what they've lost. So, fun trick, and if you do get beaten up and whatnot because of that, because of my advice, I'm sorry, but I shouldn't really be taking my advice, it's shit anyways. What else have I got here? I've got how I zoomed away from, oh, not this story. Okay, right. So, what's going on? So, I was walking home from school, as per usual, and one of my mates took my bottle off me, because my bottle's in my bag, and I was like, alright, funny, go on. He chucked it away to someone, and they were doing like Piggy in the middle with me. I was like, this is funny, okay, you can stop now. It was getting annoying, eventually, and I eventually got it back again. So I got it back, and they took it again, started doing it again. I was like, right, stop. I took it, I walked a bit further ahead. He took it and did it again. Eventually, I got it back for the 3rd time, and you know, a normal person would like try to hide it or put it in the bag so it's hard for them to get it without you noticing. I'm not like that. I'm different. I put it in my bag and I bolted it for like 10 seconds straight. And by bolted it, I mean I went as fast as I could for like 10 seconds. I was like, running fast, like freaking past all these small children. And one of the people getting involved was also part of the group of the year 10s that tried to bully me in the previous story. But he saw this happening. He joined in on the 3rd one. I ran off. And then I'm fine for about 20 seconds listening to my music on my sick beats. Not those ones, but a different pair that I've got. I was just listening to my music. I hear... And I sensed something. I don't know how I did this, but I sensed something. I turn around and I just see one of the kids that was taking a bottle bolting straight towards me. He had no bag on. He took his blazer off and his jumper, and he was bolting towards me at full speed. And I just went, shit! So me, with my bag on, which slows me down, and my blazer on, which will slow me down because aerodynamics, I was there trying to run away from it. And eventually, he got close to me, and we both stopped. I kept holding my bottle to make sure he couldn't get it, and then I just continued walking. He eventually went back to his mates, and my mate that wasn't being a dick catched up to me. I was like, you were fucking rapid, mate. I was like, yeah, I know. I was fucking rapid, dick. By the way, a lot of my stories that I have will probably be from school. I rarely go outside. And if they aren't from school, they're probably either going to be me just going to the cinema with parents or a mate or boo Overwatch stories. What else happened recently? Oh yeah, I watched the Venom film, so this is just a normal story. This isn't funny. Yeah, I recently watched Venom. Venom Let There Be Carnage. By the way, there might be some spoilers, because I can never keep my mouth shut about things. Sometimes when it comes to film, so might be some spoilers, but yeah, that film was brilliant. And apparently there was a bunch of people having a go at the film because it was too short. Like, oh, it wasn't 2 hours, it's an hour and 42. I respected that. I actually prefer films that are like an hour and 40 minutes, not 2 hours, because 20 minutes extra for me to play Overwatch, or Super Auto Pets or anything. And also, it's just... It just... A lot of 2-hour films nowadays are only 2 hours, just so they can cram in a bunch of it, either to cram in as much information as possible, or to just extend the length of the film time so people can have to get paid more at cinemas sometimes. I find quite scummy, but you know, yeah. But yeah, because there's some films where there's literally just scenes that are just there and they have no purpose whatsoever. No character building, lore, no secrets, nothing. They're just there just for the sake of it to make the movie 2 hours. Which is annoying, but you know. And luckily with Venom, Let There Be Carnage, it wasn't like that. Every scene had a purpose. Every scene was there, and it was necessary. I don't think there was a single moment of filler in that film, and I respect that. It was also like kind of creepy in some moments. Like this moment was in the trailer, so I'll say this: when fucking villain man was getting injected with kill serum, and then Carnage went, no, I let him live. The moment after that was terrifying. He was walking down this corridor, pure silence except from echoing footsteps in this fog, and then just this massive fucking creature, just like you see a shadow flicker in and out from the lights, just stops then. Louder than the end game and Infinity War snap. Louder than that snap was this massive scream. It was so scary. And if you're like, oh, that can't be scary, you're my indubitive fellow, you have obviously not watched any horror films. No, I've not watched any horror films. I think the only horror films that I've actually watched is Happy Death Day 2. No, just Happy Death Day. And that's it. I've never watched horror. I want to watch it, but I've never have. But yeah, so that was scary, a bit scary. It's like, big loud noise. But it was also, it has some important stuff in it. I'm not going to say, but if you know, you know. In the end sequence, I'm like, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that. If you know what I'm about, you know what I'm about. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Oh yeah, and before that, I was with a mate, by the way. And before we actually watched the film, we did other things. We went to like a bookstore nearby in the town. Went to a bookstore, and he was looking at the manga section because I was with George. And if you don't know George, he's baseline, reacts, second person, and if you don't know anything about him, he's a massive weeb. He watches a lot of anime. And pretty much, we were in the manga section. He was just like going, oh my god, they've got this, oh my god, they've got this, and I was like, Platoon manga. I was just there waiting for him to stop being a nerd because he wasn't going to buy anything. And we bumped into one of his mates. One of his mates was there, and they were just laughing and like going like, oh, this is so awkward to me. This is so awkward to me. So awkward. I was like, what's wrong with those two? And eventually we got outside and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you two? Why were you so special? And they were like, well, it was awkward. I was like, why? Like, I don't expect to meet someone in a bookstore and it's so quiet, it's awkward. I'm like, no, it's not. It is not awkward in the slightest. I need to yawn. It's not awkward unless you make it awkward. That'll end. He's like, well, where else do you expect to see me? That's like the last place you'd expect to see me. And I said, no, the last place that I'd expect to see anybody is a strip club. So that is not how it works. So that was a thing that happened. Oh, we also went to Asda. Just because. Like, we were going around, like, just going around town. And that's how I actually bought this. We were going around, and he wanted to go to game because there was a code for, like, a shiny Pokemon or something that he wanted. I think it was, like, a shiny Shield legendary. And, oh my god, why do I need to yawn so much? He wanted to, get this thing. And I was like, okay. And we thought we needed a purchase to get it, and we didn't know what to buy to get it. And there was this pile of teddies just in this thing. And we saw some Among Us ones. That's how I got it. And there was a few of them. There was the black one, the yellow one, and the pink one that we saw. Multiple versions of it. And I was going to get the black one, because the black one... Ooh. But first of all, this one was £1 cheaper. And second of all, George, my man George, you know what he does? He says, buy the pink one. And I went, bet. Bought the pink one. And then he got his code for both sword and shield. And it didn't even work. He gave the sword one to his friend and got the shiny sword one. And he kept the shield one for himself. And the shield one didn't work. So he couldn't get the shiny legendary. And he was so mad. I got this though, so that's a positive. But negative is that L, you didn't. If you're watching this, L, you didn't get your thing, you fucking loser. What else happened on our trip? Oh yeah, again, we went to Asda. Not for any particular reason, literally. I went to Asda because that is a thing I do. Yeah. One thing that I do is, whenever I'm bored, my mum and dad will be like, we haven't done this in a while, want to go out somewhere? They'll be debating things like, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? Should we do this? And I'll just go, can we go to Asda? Like, whenever we're bored, we go to Asda. That's just a fact. And fucking stop yelling, please. And that's just become a thing now. It's become a massive meme between me, them, and George. Just, let's go to Asda. Boo. So every time I go to... Cut that. Bleep that. Every time I go to town, I can't believe I nearly said it. Every time I go to town, I go to Asda now, pretty much, whenever I go to cinema with him, and it's brilliant. Asda has everything. And I never buy any of it, because I don't need it. Podcasts are hard. A bunch of people say, oh, podcasts are easy, just write down a bunch of ideas and say them out. It's hard by yourself. Like, I've seen many podcasts that end at like a 15-minute mark because just one guy talking about stuff and then he runs out of stuff. I'm doing that now. I think that's why podcasts with like 2 or more people do so much better. Oh, okay. It's because they can just like bounce off each other with ideas and stuff, run with that for like 2 hours, and then eventually when they both get bored of talking, they'll go, right, podcast over. Most single podcasts I've seen is when they go, I'm out of ideas, I'm gonna end it. And when it comes to duels, it's like, with cold ones, it's like, we're too drunk, or I'm bored now. And that's how they end it. I think I might do that next. I think I might try and do a podcast with George. Probably, hopefully he agrees to it. Because we'll just be sat there talking for like an hour about random things that happen. It might be repeats, but... But yeah, so that's going to be it for this podcast. I actually enjoyed recording this. I'm out of stories for now. That I can at least think of. But I'm out of stories. I'll come back with some more later. And yeah, I shall see you guys in the next video / podcast.